Esselamu aleyküm ve rahmetullah. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbena efri aleyna sabran ve sebbit akdamena ve ensurna alel kavmil kafirin. Rabbi cealni mukimes salati ve min zürriyeti Rabbena ve tekabbel dua. رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا واجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we will continue studying the section Araf of the Quran, and we studied up to the verse 137. And these verses are concerned the story of Moses, and there is no need to go back and let's study the verse itself. وَأَوْرَثْنَا الْقَوْمَ الَّذِينَ كَانُوا يُسْتَضْعَفُونَ مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا. And so we made the oppressed people successors of the eastern and western lands. Now, oppressed people, Quran uses this word, mustad'afun, mustad'afin in different words. Here is the verbal form of it. Yustad'afun, those people who were oppressed. Now, this, what does it mean, who were oppressed? Why we try to understand this as if always the believers are oppressed. Why do you think believers, followers of the prophets, are oppressed people or lower class people? What does it mean, really? Any idea? No idea. I feel, yeah, please.
I've actually always wondered that myself. The oppressed seem to be the believers in many, many different kinds of situations in the past and even currently. And I've actually always wondered about that. It seems to be a really good question. I don't have the answer.
But it is an important question. And you are saying, what I understood from it, oppressed means not necessarily in ideologically, theoretically. I understood that materially, those people who don't attach any, if you like, priority to the material side of this world, they will be materially powerless or less powerful than the rest. So those people who rely their material power, military power, status power, worldly power in general, worldly power, their financial superiority, maybe rich people, they are opposing the prophets always from worldly side of their power, not really ideological or theoretical side of their power. We see in the Quran, there are almost every prophet narrations are mentioned in the Quran. Mostly, we will come to our age. Now, according to the narrations of the Quran. Always the prophet saying, look, you have one Lord, and this Lord is the Lord of the universe, owner of the creator of the universe. And this word is transient. They cannot create anything. They have no power. The response is, we found our forefathers doing this, and we are not going to leave our tradition behind. We follow our tradition. And also, they're usually the most the least material challenge is if you say that if we don't believe in God, if we don't follow you, we will be punished by God. Where is it? They say. Where is it? Again, they look at the matter from material side, because they want the destroyer of God materially now, but they don't take notice that their human side is destroyed already by not believing in the absolute creator. Their life is very much limited to the cradle, baby birth, from the birth, from cradle to grave. That's it. And whatever they have, they cannot really humanly enjoy it because it is transient. So obvious. Already from the perspective of the prophetic message, they have already destroyed, really. They are not really enjoying, because this world as well, the worldly life as well, let alone hereafter, because we usually concentrate on how we should understand within the conditions of this world. Of course, this world refers to the hereafter, and we will see in the hereafter multiplied by infinity. So we have to see the sign here that really paradise and hell is necessary. That is why we study the verses as far as our experience in this world is concerned. So the prophet says, you cannot be happy within yourself if you don't accept God, the creator, and see yourself as being created by him. The opposite side says, bring the punishment physically. And we are powerful, we can expel you from this land, maybe we can kill you physically. They see that most of the people who follow the prophets do not attach much priority to material side. That is why, according to the unbelievers or disbelievers, they are mustad'afun. It means the oppressed people. The Quran assures that if you are not materially powerful, maybe you are not going to challenge the unbelievers materially anyways. Material power is needed if the believers, there are two conditions. If the believers has established their own institution of administration, and if the believer, the second one is, if the believers are attacked physically and the believers can defend themselves physically. In these two conditions, the believers must defend themselves physically. Otherwise, the general message of the revelation of God, from God, is not physical at all. It completely addresses human feelings, human side. We have to understand. And also, I think at least once, if not more, but this is very important to me, even it is a repetition, I don't mind. Why people do not understand, some people don't understand the value of the message of the prophets, although the message of the prophets says, just believe in yourself, nothing to do with me. If you believe, you save yourself. I don't want anything. I don't want any payment. I don't want any power. I don't want any status in the world. Nothing. Why do you resist against me? That's what the prophets remind people. Usually, all of them, even the prophet Muhammad, starting from the first prophet, Adam, they were not after any physical power. It was obvious. And even now, if I want somebody to get to know the message of the Qur'an and believe in it, it has nothing to do with me materially. He's not going to pay me anything. Maybe he will become my friend, my brother or sister, and I may share my material side with him or with her. I wouldn't expect anything to share with me materially. It means the more people believe, the less materially powerful I will be. So I will share it with them because religion or the revelation forces me to spend on other people. So it is not materially in favor of me, just the opposite. This is what I understand the Qur'an's presentation of the prophetic message. Some people do not see the point in prophet's message because they look at the matter from their perspective. What is their perspective? I don't mean their belief. No, from their perspective, because they decide that value can only be measured in terms of matter or worldly power, worldly status. So when they look at the prophet and his message, their message, they look at the message from material side. What am I going to do with this? They don't see it. No power. No power that they will gain out of it. But the prophets say, look at your human side, human feelings, and satisfy your human feelings with the message I give you. You will be more comfortable in your life than you are now. But those people expect that this message will bring me some material power, more bodily satisfaction. The message of the prophet says spiritual satisfaction. They look at from the level which expects to receive some bodily satisfaction. That's why they don't cross each other. They go this way. They don't respond to each other. That's why they cannot accept it. Not because it doesn't make sense that we are created. We need to be created. Let's have a free thinking here, liberal thinking. whether I accept that I am created or not. I am just a production of the matter. Let's see, I accepted that I have a creator. What am I going to lose? Nothing materially, nothing. Why they don't accept it? They are not going to lose anything. Say, yeah, I think it is real. It makes sense. I cannot happen to be accidentally like this as a result of jumbled, random happenings among matter, and a human being will become with their unimaginably valuable qualities, human qualities, feelings. It is impossible. Are they going to lose anything? Nothing. Whatever the properties they have, they will keep it. Whatever the status they may have in the world, they can keep it, but they have to act on just ways, according to justice. They cannot be oppressors. That is the problem. Qur'an studies this matter very, not very clearly, actually. We have to work on it a bit. The Quran says, I know what you are doing, what you are hiding, what you are showing. And you have arrogance in yourself. That's why you don't accept it. You don't want to accept any suggestions from anyone else, whether it is going to be useful for you or not, regardless. You say that I am self-sufficient. I don't want to listen to you. I understand the psychology of denial. It comes from this pre-accepted values and denial of human reality because of their prejudice in understanding that the satisfaction can only be in the form of matter. That is why they don't accept it. And also arrogance, because arrogance is the result of material power. That's what I understood, why Quran says they are oppressed people. Not necessarily that they may not be rich. They may not have any status in the society. They may, but they don't use it. They don't use their material. Believers don't use their material and don't attach any value to the material or financial situation, their financial situation. They don't use it because they don't attach any significance to them. But those people who attach significance to these values, material, worldly values, they don't accept the revelation or the message of the prophets, and they deny the message because they attach importance to power. How about the poor disbelievers? There are some, not necessarily that all deniers are rich people, high status people in the society, nobles, not necessarily, but mostly so, but not necessarily. Those maybe poor people among the deniers, they admire the rich people. They admire the high status nobles. For example, they admire the king, they admire the king's family. You can see still some traces of it, especially in Britain. every I mean, patriot, nationalist people love to see the magazine news of the Queen's family members, princes, princesses. So that is something interesting, maybe in other countries as well, but my experience is with the UK. So they may be poor, but because they admire it, they want to be in their places. These people also cannot see the message, cannot understand the message. And also say, yeah, and says, that is my experience in the UK. Yeah, that's correct too. Thank you. So maybe other kingdoms also, for example, Jordan has kingdom, Morocco has kingdom. There may be other places, but I don't know. I'm not very good at it. The people like to live curiously through the queens. Yeah, they are proud of it. Oh God. I've seen many sceneries. They're so interesting. All right. And also, we made the oppressed people successors of the Eastern and Western land. What does it mean? Eastern, yeah, thank you. And it is so ridiculous. Yes, it is ridiculous. Okay, let's come to the subject. Successors of the Eastern and Western land. I believe that the success of the believers, it cannot be limited with geographical coordinations. For example, if you live in Arabian countries or Arabian Peninsula, you will be more blessed. No, everywhere. In Europe, in, I don't know, Iceland, everywhere. Wherever you are, I understand. When you believe in God, when you accept that God is the Rabbul Alameen, wherever you are successor. You are successful there. Any part of the world is a means of manifestations or ways of reaching God, manifestations of God, anywhere. Okay, let's continue. Which we had showered with blessings. Everywhere, actually, everywhere is showered with blessings. Every part of the universe. No one can say that Japan is better than, I don't know, South Africa or anywhere. I don't know. The names are not important. So we have to understand that we can find God's blessings everywhere in the world. In this way, the noble word of your Lord was fulfilled for the children of Israel, wherever they were, if the children of Israel, as long as the children of Israel. We said before what the children of Israel represents, just to refresh our memory, those people who follow a prophetic message, children of Israel. Because the example is given to us through Moses' story and in the life of the prophet during his life period in Medina, children of Israel were the people who were following the revelation or a prophetic message. So those people who follow the children, who follow the prophetic message, historically was presented to us in the example of the children of Israel. But this is when the Qur'an was revealed. So when the Qur'an was revealed, it is one of the fundamental principles of the Qur'an. Qur'an's content is timeless, infinite, timeless, universal message. But it is revelation to the prophet, and its practice is limited to a time and space in Mecca and in Medina. Examples are practically given in the Quran from the lives of the first generation. What does it mean for us? Now, this example, we have to say, look, when Quran spoke first to the people around the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he gave example from their practical life. And universal message tells me that I have to give example from my practical life. That is what the Quran teaches us, how to behave, how to receive the message. I have to receive the message within the context of my practical life, living conditions. I have to present this message within the context of the people whom I am speaking to in their practical life. So I have to transfer the practical examples of the Quran into the practical examples of my life. Why? Because the Quran, yes, gives a specific example, but in its nature, it is a universal message. If I don't do that, instead of understanding the children of Israel as those people who follow the message, prophetic message of God, under the leadership of a prophet, it is only for those time, children of Israel. Where is universality of the Quran? Where is God speaks in the Quran, says, oh, human being. And I am a human being. I am one of the addressees of the Quran. I have to think of it within my term, so that the Quran must have this capacity to teach me as well. But that time, children of Israel, now we see children of Muhammad, if you like. Why? Ummah of Muhammad. Those people who were given the opportunity to follow the prophetic message of the Prophet Muhammad, then those people must understand the message of the Quran for themselves now. So we cannot say children of Israel, only the Jewish people. No, Muslims, Christians, and Jews as well. So the word of the noble word of your Lord was fulfilled for the children of Israel for what they had endured. Endured means here sabaru, bima sabaru. Now, this is also another important word. Although materially they were oppressed, but because they said, okay, my material side may be painful, but my spirit is free. My spirit is free. That is important, because the message of God liberates the spirit, not body. Body is the same for everyone. The difference is in spiritual understanding, spiritual status, not material status. If you work and do something, you will get, regardless of whether you are a believer or not, materially, but not spiritually. Spiritually, a materialist people that say eats something, example, it's a banana. It says, oh, it was delicious. Okay. I loved it. Done. And tomorrow, let's make sure I will have another banana. Running after. A believer also eats the banana, the same conditions, within the same conditions. Both of them pays the same price and buys from the same grocery and come home and looks at the banana. His feeling is what? The creator of banana so generous. In order to create the banana, you have to be able to create all fruits, all vegetables, and the world, the climate, earth, and the sun, because banana represents in its existence that only the creator of the universe can make it. So the creator of the universe must be the absolute one. Otherwise, I cannot explain the existence of the universe. That is, we should always keep in mind. If I don't say that, if I don't accept that banana needs to be created by the creator of the universe, it means I am really seeing the banana within its physical form only, not the relationship with its relationship with the rest of the universe, with the sunlight, with the atmosphere, with the water, with other elements, and also the taste, nothing to do with matter. Enormous things are going on in the existence of the banana. And also the delicious nature of banana or taste of banana, and the shape of banana, color of banana, smell of banana, nourishment form of banana, they are nothing to do with matter. Absolutely amazing creature. So it reminds us the absoluteness of its creator. I say, okay, this creator knows me and he prepared it for me. The believers eat the banana with a completely different feelings, different than disbelievers. Physically, they are the same, but spiritually, diametrically contradictory to each other. One of them is experiencing the transience, the other one is experiencing the eternity. Incomparable, impossible. That's why we have to endure, be patient. Their seemingly superiority materially over us. They may really materially oppress us. We don't. We are not allowed. I cannot oppress anyone because he didn't believe in what I believed. I make the suggestion, convey the message, and leave him alone, whether he accepts or not. But if someone claims that disbelief or not believing in God and eternal life, I have to present my idea, nothing more. My evidence for it, my reasoning for it, nothing more. Even, of course, we are human beings and we have weaknesses. I shouldn't get angry with these people. On the contrary, I should feel sorry for them. They are missing the priceless pleasure. I have to say, look at this. All the prophets were begging the people, pay attention, think for a while. You are not going to lose anything, but you will gain immeasurable pleasure in your life. Just change your attitude, nothing else. I'm not saying you have to give up your properties, not. Be comfortable within yourself, in your life. Don't oppress people, so you will be not feeling the pain of oppression and cheating yourself with the sense of arrogance, which destroys you, because you know that I am these people think that I am the great, but at the same time they know that they are going to die, they are going to lose everything behind. How can they really stand this psychological contradiction in their life? We have to be sorry for them. So, sabr in Arabic, patience, or here endurance, is our portion. We have to say, okay. If you don't accept, you don't accept. If you try to physically oppress me, okay, if I have physical power to defend, I will. Otherwise, I will be patient, because it is not really significant. The best example we learned from the Quranic example of magicians, Pharaoh's magicians, when they realized that Moses' message was absolutely correct. There is no need to really resist against him. He is true. And Pharaoh, you remember that. Pharaoh threatened them to kill. They didn't mind, because we are going to die anyways, and we will be turned to our Creator, and with submission. That's very important. That's why prostration means prostrating before the message of the prophet Moses, not the Moses himself. He's a man like them. They know it. So prostration means total submission to the message of the prophet Moses. This is an excellent scenario presented to us in the example of Musa and the magicians. And it is a good example for me also how to even the threat reach to the level that, excuse me, reaches me level to crumble me and put on the cross, crucify me. I don't care. But I cannot sacrifice my spirit, or the satisfaction of my spirit. Okay. And we destroyed what Pharaoh and his people constructed and what they established. It means وَدَمَّرْنَا مَا كَانَ يَصْنَعُ فِرْعَوْنُ وَقَوْمُهُ وَمَا كَانُوا يَعْرِشُونَ. What that established in the world, actually, it is put their arsh, with their throne on the world. That's their throne on the world. So, and this is what they said, material power was very important, and what they really constructed, it means prepared tricks for them. We destroyed them. But sometimes their constructions, to use my familiar languages, tricks. Their trick, God says we destroyed it because they want to oppress, as Pharaoh wanted to really oppress magicians, torture magicians. Did magicians experience torture? Not at all. They say, this is a transient world. Why bother? Either tomorrow, today, I'm going to die. So if I'm going to die for the sake of God, because of my belief in God, it is worth this death. That is martyrdom. So martyrdom definitely will be rewarded immensely by God. So whether they were physically oppressive or not, spiritually they were destroyed. Physically, maybe depends on the situation. If they try to kill the prophet, expel the prophet as a community, not individuals, only the leaders, not. If the community, whole community, do not support the leaders, nobles of the society or rulers of the society, God doesn't destroy the innocent people. So they will be saved. But if the whole community rejects the prophet, unanimously almost agrees, almost, not necessarily that 1% exception, no, almost unanimously agreed on expelling the prophet, God says, okay, these people deserve physical punishment in this world as well. So physical punishment comes. We know that in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, the community of Mecca did not, as a whole, oppose the Prophet. Only a handful of people. That's why there was no physical punishment in the life of the Prophet to the Meccan people. So we should understand that with the Marna, it means really we really crush them down. The Marna is not only destroy, crush them down. It means their spiritual life was completely blank or black, meaningless, because they rejected the prophetic message, didn't take any lesson from it. They were destroyed. Materially depends, as we discussed. Shall we move? Or would you like to say anything? Share an idea? Anyone? Okay, let's move. If you want to say, go ahead anytime. Oh. All right. So وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتوا على قوم يعكفون على أصنام لهم. Oh, that's interesting. Let's not go to the further section of the verse. We brought the children of Israel across the sea. Of course, we touched upon this subject a lot. Across the sea means crossing one understanding, one type of understanding of the word, going on the other side of understanding of the reality of existence. Stop following the material world, running after only bodily satisfaction, and really receiving the spiritual satisfaction across the sea. But other side of the matter, other side of the subject, I mean, we understand it. Physically, during the children of Israel's experience in Egypt, it might have miraculously physically happened, and the Quran says it happened. Yes, an example. But narration of this story to me must have a meaning for me now, which tells me I have to cross the sea as well. They are nowadays called conversion. Of course, I think our friend is still among us. Yeah, some rare people who were given the opportunity because of their good intention, searching for the truth. They changed and went other side of the sea. Okay. Well, I wouldn't like, because I don't like lucky. I don't believe in luck. That's why I would say they are lucky. But practically speaking, although I disagree with the word lucky, they are lucky because they are given the opportunity because of their good intention to cross the sea. But people like me, you have to think, did I cross the sea? Did I make the hijrah, the prophetic migration? Did I make in my life? Yeah. Did I make in life? Okay. Well, thank you, and I am not ignoring your notes, but please, crossing the sea is such a beautiful way of putting it. Appreciation is always goes to the Qur'an. Alhamdulillah. So I have to decide. I have to say, did I really immigrate from my traditional background into a new, my own conclusion, my own conviction, and my own confirmation, rather than just following the truth? I mean, those people who are here definitely experience that. I feel that I experienced, but not a radical one. That is why all of us will be watchful about the following verse, part of the following, where they came across people. So after going there, deciding that, okay, I'm not going to follow the tradition just for the sake of tradition. I will definitely be selective about the tradition. What is really what my creator wants? What is really the remnants or ruins of earlier tradition? I have to check. I have to question every value I learn from my family, from my community culture. I have to check and decide whether this is good or not. But it seems to be okay. No. According to the teachings of the prophetic message, whether it is correct or not. Of course, in Muslim culture, there are quite a lot of beautiful heritage from the prophetic message, but they are mostly polluted, stained with cultural elements. I have to clean them. I have to make them pure. I have to work on them. So that is what we all have to do, cross the sea. And after crossing the sea, it doesn't mean, okay, I said, I'm not going to follow the tradition blindly. I have to be selective, okay? And I am on the other side of the sea. Now I'm living in another understanding of the world, and my life is completely different from the previous cultural life. Although they may share some elements which are approved by the teachings of the prophetic message. Of course, it is difficult. I must admit, it is very difficult to be selective. What is really polluted in the culture, although it looks like according to prophetic message. We have to be very careful. Our job is more difficult than those people who come from a non-Muslim cultural background. They see the matter in terms of black and white, but our matter is always gray. It needs more work. Why? Because already we are born into this revelation, so revelation is not cheap. We have to work on it. But those people searched here, there, how many years they have been searching, questioning, looking for. At the end, they found and see clearly, this is the one really the best understanding of God, pure understanding of God, not polluted at all. And this civilization is completely different from my cultural background, but it doesn't mean that I have to react to culture. No, take my own way and be as moderate, as mild as possible to the people, but within yourself, you have to be satisfied. We, those people who are born into the Muslim family, also should follow the same way. How? I have to make it clear for myself. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have a fight with the family. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have fight with Muslim community. When I go to the mosque, I respect everyone there. But when they say, İyyâke na'budu ve İyyâke nestaîn, I don't know what they mean, but I have to say, my İyyâke na'budu ve İyyâke nestaîn. I should say, you alone. I should be mindful of you. We worship. Who are we? And what does worship mean? That is within my word, completely different. Respectful to people, okay. But at the same time, when they come up with a cultural suggestion, I have to kindly stay away from it, kindly, without breaking any heart. That is, I think, very practical. That's why I need to speak about it. So after going there, the problem didn't finish.
So, Brother Ali, one question I had. Can you give an example of what got polluted?
Sorry, what?
What got polluted in
God?
the tradition of the prophetic message?
No, in the not the prophetic message, in culture, our culture, Muslim people's culture, Pakistani culture, Turkish culture, I don't know, Iranian culture.
So is it like something in the understanding, for example, like halal and haram? Those kind of things?
No. In social relationship, in personal relationship, in ethical values, this kind of things. I don't like giving practical examples. You have to, everybody has his own living conditions, the practical life. But the way I, for example, imagine or furnish my house, the way I attach values to my car and to my profession, to my salary, to my money, and give priority to something rather than the other thing. We have to everywhere. No practical example I can give. Think about it. Which type of way of life I'm following? I have to see. my life. Analyze it. So Asim says, is it fair to say that much of the pollution is in the understanding of the tradition? But the tradition is, it is a sensitive word. If we mean the tradition, prophetic tradition, Sunnah tradition, no, we don't mean that. We say racial, local culture. The way they attach importance to certain things. And especially not the culture that the Muslims, for example, everybody says you have to have a secular education in order to be successful. I have to question, is it so, really? Can I not do anything else? I have to educate myself in religion, understanding the Qur'an. So tradition says, about a small group of people say you have to memorize the Qur'an. Yeah. And some people say you have to learn Arabic. Yes, these are not wrong. But not many people say, yes, this is the beginning. Learning Arabic and memorizing the Qur'an, praying is the beginning of something else. Studying the Qur'an seriously. But in the culture, it stops there. You learn how to read the Qur'an, you learn how to pray, it stops there. It's not the beginning, almost it is the end. And the parents feel comfortable. One example, okay. Parents feel comfortable that I have taught my children how to pray, how to say the last 10 short sections of the Quran in their prayers. And I encourage them to read the Quran, but you have to be an engineer and work for it 23 years, 24 years, and you have to work 8 hours a day at least. Get the best amount of money. For example, I have to question, do I have to? Was I created for this purpose? Is it really worth it? What else I should really do? It doesn't mean that we shouldn't go to school, we shouldn't work, we shouldn't do our job. No. Because of this concentration on worldly affairs, we ignore most of the cultural encouragement for the new generation has nothing to do with learning what the Quran really, really teaches. How can I confirm my belief in it? If you say something that, it would be a disaster, tell your parents that I'm going to leave my job, I'll get a small part-time job, that's enough for my life. Look at what's happening. Culture. I'm not suggesting we should do that. We have to see. The Quran, the prophetic teaching says, life is based on your belief education. Culture says life is based on your profession. How can you reconcile it? We have to think about it and see what is right, what's wrong, and in a moderate way. How can I manage my life accordingly? Because our minds are really indoctrinated, polluted. We cannot think of anything otherwise, otherwise than the culture. It is a dangerous subject, I know, because it is unimaginable that we can really reconsider our already constructed way of life. Unimaginable. It is difficult. Okay, none of my business. Everybody here in this class, in this discussion, we have to talk only the theory. Well, I mean, theory means not practical example. Theory related to our practical life, but the practical example we have to talk about. Inshallah. Oh, okay, this time is up almost. The children of Israel said, okay. They came across people who were devoted to worshiping idols. Now, I am saying I am a Muslim. I pray, I get out of the mosque. What I found? People are worshiping idols, fashion, values of secular communities, secular life. Don't say in Muslim society people don't live secular life. Their life is secular, but they have some part, alhamdulillah. I'm very pleased to see that. Some people practice prayer and fasting, etc. And other really respect the rules. But as far as concentrating on belief matters are concerned, we just take it for granted. Repeat, I believe in the hereafter, I believe in angels, I believe in God, I believe blah, blah. Why? I don't know. I believe in the Qur'an. Okay. How many hours a day you study the Qur'an? I don't know. Maybe not. Very exceptional people do that, alhamdulillah, to see that, but majority, no. Go any Muslim country, who studies the Quran, especially belief. Most of the Quran is related to belief. How many, what is the proportion? Think about it. If you find 5%, please let me know. I will be very happy. Studying the belief aspect of the Quran, 5% of the Muslim community, I will be so happy if someone says, yes, I'm sure that I experienced this in Karachi, in Lahore, in Istanbul, in whatever, Cairo. Go and see the new generation. It means when we cross, although we think we crossed, yes, we did, but we found people there, we find people there who were devoted to worshiping idols. And we started making idols, different ways of life, following the different ways of life. Who is following the way of life of the prophetic teaching? So we found ourselves in secular societies. Although the people, they are Muslims, yes, they are, alhamdulillah, but we are talking about how are we going to really clean up these secular elements in our culture. The children of Israel said, Moses, give us a God like the gods they have. Now, what are we doing? We say, how many times you heard this? Don't forget your share in the world. All right? Yeah, my body needs, until it dies, something. Yes, don't forget that. Something. But what your spirit needs, wow. So give us a God like the gods they have. The Muslim people usually say, working is a worship as well. What does it mean? a God, giving a small age God as the secular societies worship. Working takes place, but studying the Quran, message of the heritage, Muslim heritage is huge. We are not aware of it, what's going on in the Muslim world. We memorize some fiqh rules, yeah, some people, very exceptional people. It is good, it is not, it is something to do with the Sharia, yes. But how about satisfying the spirit by providing the belief evidence for the spirit? Yeah. So Moses, they said, Moses, give us a God like the gods they have. Then how are we going to interpret religion in terms of the people of the society that we are living in, rather than having our own God and being satisfied with it? It means the word, the Lord of the universe. So let's, sorry. 139, right? Yeah, he replied, you are ignorant people. Ignorant means here, in the Quran, jahil or techelun here. Those people who don't think, not necessarily that they are not aware. We have to understand. They don't think. They don't really measure. They don't weigh. Is it really true? Is it really worth or not? These are called in the Quran as ignorant people. They don't analyze, not necessarily that uneducated, but they don't know the truth and they don't seek the truth. Inna ha'ulai mutabbarum ma hum fihi wa batilu ma kanu ya'malun. And if we do that, for the worship they practice, what the people in the secular societies, in the secular way of life, will be destroyed and their deeds are in vain. We actually studied this in the previous verse in 137, because their deeds are in vain. Their deeds do not bring any benefit and satisfaction to them. Look at the world here, wherever you live. Look at the world. People are running after the world, encouraging each other for worldly purposes, worldly aims. And what they are getting? Worldly. Therefore, bodily satisfaction. That's what they are getting. Spiritual satisfaction? Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm very pleased. During Ramadan, I go to the mosque here, especially morning Subh mosque, Salah. It is really beautiful to go to the mosque. Now, before Ramadan started, the number of the people were 3, 4, at the most 5. Now, mashallah, 10, 15. Oh, I'm very happy. Look, the number is increasing during Ramadan. That's a good excuse. That's what Allah says at specific time. So, at this specific time, attracted people's attention. It is increasing in my neighborhood. It's a small neighborhood. But this is good. But spiritual satisfaction needs special study of the Quran and reflections on the message of the Quran. I think it is too late. Let's stop here, inshallah, if you don't mind. Next week, we can continue from 140, inshallah, verse from 40. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah. Okay, and thank you. We are all going. Wassalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah accept your fast.